Hey friends, my name is Lauren. If you're new here, I make videos about college, vlogs, just honestly kind of whatever I want. Today I thought I would show you how I've been organizing my stuff for classes this semester. Last semester I went pretty typical, had my planner, which is kind of just what I've always done. Planner, notebooks, whatever, and it worked. It wasn't bad or anything, but a couple years ago I got an iPad for Christmas. This semester I've been experimenting using my iPad to take my notes and as my planner, and I have to say I absolutely love it. I thought I would just run you guys through how I've been using it to organize and how maybe you have an iPad also, you want to do the same. Also, some of these tips you don't even need an iPad for, just if you use Google Calendar or if your school uses Canvas, some of these tips will help you too. Let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm going to go ahead and screen record here and then I'll just talk to you about it. Here's my home screen. Down at the bottom, I have the 4 apps that I use the most for school. This is GoodNotes 5, Google Calendar, Canvas, and Google Chrome. So I guess I'll go ahead and start off with how I use notes in GoodNotes 5. So basically what I did is I assigned each class a color using hex codes, and I'll show you guys how to use those in a minute. But to get those hex codes, I just went ahead and Googled pretty hex codes. So hex codes are something that you can use to customize the colors on anything. If you've ever seen a bar where you're like picking a color and then there'll be a little place at the bottom where it'll say like hashtag and then a bunch of letters and numbers, that is a hex code, and the computer uses those colors to make that specific color that you want. So I went ahead and Googled pretty hex codes. You can see there's like a million you can choose from. I actually really liked this first one, and so I assigned each one of my classes a different color from this color scheme, and then I used that color consistently throughout. Start off, I'll show you how I do my notes on GoodNotes 5. So each class has its own color. Go ahead and show you guys my stat notes. So if you go in, basically these are what some of my notes look like. I'm still getting used to the whole handwriting thing on here because it is a little bit different than pen and paper, so don't judge me on that. But basically what I've done is you can see the cover of the notebook is the color for the class, and then I also use that color to make it the highlighter for that class as well. And then I just kind of take my notes just like you would pen and paper in class, go through, highlight. I usually highlight titles in kind of a thicker highlighter, and then any key terms or just things I want to remember I'll do in thin highlighter. And then I don't know why I've always done this. I love the way it looks when you trace the letters of the title with the highlighter, so I do that as well. And then what I really love about taking notes on here is that I can get things like this diagram of a frequency table. I just Googled that off the internet and was able to put that in my notes showing me what it was. Same with the histogram. And I'll show you guys in French. I also have taken screenshots of the textbook itself. Like, oh, well, I'm drawing on it now. But the picture up top of the people shopping at a sports store, that's a picture that I just screenshotted from my online textbook, and I'm able to put it directly in my notes, which is then super, super helpful later on when you're studying. Then I also have a to-do list in here. So basically on my to-do list every day, I just write the date at the top, and then I just put whatever to-do list I have, and then I highlight the item on the to-do list with the color that that class is, so I know exactly what class it's for. So as you can see, reaction post 1 is this light pink color, which is for my clinical child psychology class. You can see it matches. Or purple is for statistics, blue is for English, and so on. And so it's really, really helpful because it's super easy for me to tell exactly what I need to do for each class without having to write like blank for English, blank for stat, whatever. Next, if we go into Google Calendar, you can see I've created my calendar within the same colors as the classes themselves. So I think it looks super, super pretty. I put deadlines and due dates as well as the classes. So you can see on Monday the 27th, I have French in the morning, and then developmental psych, and then at 1:30 I have a assignment due for clinical psychology, so that's in there, so I remember to do it. At 2:30 I have clinical child psych. At 2:30, until midnight that night, I have another assignment due for that class at midnight, and then I have an assignment for English due at 5, and the Bachelor on at 7 p.m. obviously. This is again a really easy way for me to keep track of all of my assignments and due dates. I absolutely love Google Calendar. And then lastly, we can go into Canvas. I know a lot of universities use Canvas. A lot of my friends who go to other schools also use Canvas. And as you can see, I've changed the colors and the names in all of my classes so that they also match my calendar. So I'll go ahead and show you guys how I'm able to do this. A lot of these things you do have to do on a computer, so it'll kind of flip-flop between screen recordings. To start off, if you're using GoodNotes 5, the way that you can make your own color, I'm just gonna go ahead and make a pretend class right now. So I would go New Notebook, and then we'll title it YouTube. And you can pick what kind of paper you want. Let's say we want ruled narrow. I use that a lot. And then it actually doesn't matter what pattern you make your cover. You can use one of theirs if you want. Personally, I just colored my own and made them personalized for me. So you go ahead and hit create. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go find a hex code. Okay, so I found this really pretty like aqua light blue that I really like. And so I'm gonna go ahead and use that. So you just need to remember the hex code 95DFE. So then if I go in here, I'm gonna wanna make a new pen color, custom. And then down here where it says hex, you're gonna enter 95DFE. Oop, DFE. Did I get that right? 95DFE3. So as you can see, that creates the color. You're just gonna hit add to presets. And then the easiest way to color the whole thing is if you use the brush pen, which you just go to right there, and it makes sure it's the color that you want, the thickest setting. And then I just kind of color in the whole cover of the notebook. So then it looks like that. You can also add pictures from your camera roll on here. Literally all of mine are just diagrams from textbooks, but I also think it would be really cute if you made like a collage on here with Pinterest pictures. You could do that, that'd be super cute. Or if you're really good at handwriting, I am not, but maybe you want to write like in pretty cursive or something, like I'll try, but it's not gonna be pretty. So not the best, but if you're really good at calligraphy, you could write something pretty on it, make it look really cute. I really like how you can customize the notebooks on here, and then it just shows up right down there. I thought I would just show you a couple of the things that I really like to do on GoodNotes 5. So when I get into class, I start out, I always use a ball pen. I just like it the best in the medium setting, and I'll put the date in the corner of the notes. One thing that I've noticed is writing with an Apple Pencil feels a lot, well, not a lot, it's just a little bit different than writing with a regular pen. I'm one that presses down really hard when I'm writing, so I've had to kind of learn to lighten my touch a little bit. But one thing I've really found that helps with handwriting is if you zoom into the lines, it's a lot easier to write something. If I was to write notes about today's video, for example, I would maybe write and then this class is light blue, so I'm gonna go over to the highlighter, use my color at the thin setting, just like that. Then I'd go back to the pen and I could just start writing my notes here. So I might write my title, and then I would highlight that in the medium size, and then a definition right here. And if I was doing a definition title, I'd just use the smaller highlighter and do it like that so it shows up a little bit less. And then if you want to insert a picture, you just go right here, take this picture from clinical child psychology. Maybe I want it like right here. Just go that, and then you can actually draw on top of the picture too. So if I wanted to say like, I have no idea what to write, so we're just doing this. But you can draw on top of the picture if you wanted to make notes on it or anything like that. And then another tool that I really love is you can make perfect shapes. So I use this for example in stat. You can see the formula box that I made is a perfect square. I could not do that by myself, but it'll recognize the shape. So if I try to draw a circle, it recognizes it and makes it a perfect circle. Moving on to Google Calendar and Canvas. I need to grab my computer for this one. Now to do Google Calendar, we're gonna go ahead to googlecalendar.com. Make sure you're logged in. So I never knew that there was a way to create custom colors on Google Calendar. I always thought you just had to use one of their like 8 presets, I think, which I don't really love. I'm picky about these things, like they don't really matter. The first thing that you want to do to create your own custom color is you're going to go down here on the sidebar, and underneath my calendars it says other calendars, and you're going to click the plus sign. Sorry, I'm getting like a ton of text messages, so if it's really choppy I have to cut out the messages, so that's why. And then create new calendar. So I'll just name this one, and then press create calendar. Just go back. Then you have your new thing called YouTube. So you're gonna click these 3 dots right here, the options menu, and then down where you would click the specific color you want. It already has more options than it does when you're just coloring an event, but I'm gonna click the plus sign, and then again, you're gonna see right here, it shows up for hex codes. Hashtag 95DFE3. So then I have the really pretty light blue color that I had earlier and click save. So then if I wanted to create an event in this color, I would go to the day I wanted. So say today, create my new event, which is gonna be film YouTube video for 1:30 p.m. That's when it started. And then down here, when you're picking your calendar, you're gonna wanna choose that one and then press save. And then as you can see, that event shows up in that color. My event shows up in that color that I picked. And lastly, if you want to do this on Canvas, you're gonna go to your dashboard on Canvas, and then say I wanted to change the color and the name of English right here. Click on the 3 dots in the corner, and then you can type in your nickname right here, and then this is where the hex code goes. So the one that I have in here right now is 355C7D. I'm not gonna change it because I'm happy with it, but you could choose whatever color you wanted. I know there are also websites where you can create your own hex codes, so you can just kind of drag a little thing around a color circle, and when you get a color you like, it'll tell you exactly what the hex code for that specific color is. So that is how I've been organizing all of my classes this semester so far. Let me know if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I'm happy to answer anything. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe if you want more, and like this video if you liked it. Bye, friends.